Hi everyone, I am Ivy Grace Cuevas and I'll be going to discuss the writing systems and its history. Writing is the most obvious example of the adaptation of language to various situations and purposes. Today, we look at the history and how the various writing systems used around the globe and explore and illustrate how each one is suitable for its spoken language and culture. First, let's talk about writing and speaking. Spoken language existed tens of thousands of years ago, and writing was invented around 6,000 years ago. For various reasons, it's been said that speech is more basic than writing because children learn to speak without even trying, and it is part of our human birthright, or simply it is natural on us to speak. But they must be taught how to read and write. It emphasized that speaking is a biological trait, while writing is a social skill that needs to be taught or learned. Someone who knows how to write learns how to speak, but not everyone learns to read and write. Differentiate writing and speaking. With spoken language, people can talk about their lives. With writing, they can record them in detail, analyze and fictionalize them and share them with people they will never meet. Example is publishing a book that tells your life story. Second, with spoken language, people can communicate complex information to other people near them. With writing, they can communicate that information to others far away or yet to be born, who can then compare and combine it with the information in other written documents. Example are books about the Philippine history, dictionary, and dictionaries. Third, speaking allows people to share experiences with those near them, while in writing, especially in its digitalized forms, allows people to search huge stores of information to experience the full range of human condition. Example is the Google and Facebook. In most cases, those people who are speaking to each other, they rely on a shared context when they are producing their judgment and illustrating what other people are saying, while writers cannot rely on a shared context with their readers. So, they have to construct the relevant context clearly and without boldness in their texts. Those people speaking to each other can use facial expressions, gestures, and other paralinguistic cues to express more than what they actually say, while writers must rely almost exclusively on their language. For example, they can wink to show that they are being ironic, right? Speakers typically have the chance to assess their understanding of one another right away, while writers, they need to be aware of potential sources of misunderstanding and work to eliminate them. In most cases, readers are forced to read between the lines without being able to validate that they understood the author's meaning correctly. Reading between the lines means that you are trying to understand what someone implies because the writer doesn't openly state it. So, when a text is created, published, and distributed, whether formally or informally, it is fixed. And the written records can be analyzed and they may argue what the text meant but not what about the text said. So, it is much easier to deny something. However, some of the expenses associated with writing have a bright side. As an illustration, writing dependably preserves text more so than a bard's memory, contrary to Plato's claim that writing would obliterate memory. Many more people across generations have access to text thanks to writing. Ironically, by protecting, writing also helped the human race escape its tyranny in the past. Writing helped individuals to look forward, generate new ideas and produce new texts by relieving them of the time and effort needed to recall previous works. Florian Kolmas points out it is safe to say that writing is the most important technological advancement to ever exist. It is challenging to predict a modern life that is untouched by writing given the vastness of written record and the knowledge preserved in libraries, databanks, and multi-level information networks. Writing not only provides ways to take back the past, but it also helps to shape the future. Moving on, let's talk about types of writing systems. First is logographic system. In logographic systems, each grapheme or individual written symbol represents a particular morpheme or word. Each written symbol or logogram in a logographic system, such as Chinese, corresponds to a morpheme in the spoken language. Although signs can be merged to form signs with related or compound meanings, a logographic system normally contains a very large number of logograms. Logogram is a letter, symbol, or sign used to represent an entire word, while a grapheme is a written symbol that represents a sound or a phoneme.
So these are the examples of a phonetic determinative that combined any other symbol. And the difference is that how they pronounce it. For example, is in this screen right now.
It's important because if you place the
Radical gives a clue to the pronunciation of the character, while the phonetic determinative gives clues to the meaning of the character. The history of the court of Emperor Wangti, the country's first emperor, that lines and shapes in the footprints of birds and other animals are said to have served as his inspiration, and it is called pictogram. So pictogram are the oldest kind of Chinese character and show mostly natural objects such as animals in picture form. Nushu script for women only. Nushu means women's writing. In Jiangyong Prefecture of Hunan Province, it was used for at least 400 years ago. Because their education was denied, they developed the Nushu script to be able to communicate with one another in a male-dominant world. So they used to write it in a fan, book, even embroider it in their clothes. They observed a custom of Jebaizime, or sworn sisterhood. It is a strong bond of women who were not blood related. When one of them gets married, the other one gives them a cloth-bound booklets, where it contains songs wishing happiness and express sorrow at being separated. It is called San Chao Shu, or Third Day Massive, because it is delivered on the third day after its marriage. On the other hand, Nushu script was also used to write women's abusive marriages. Nushu manuscripts are extremely rare because, by custom, they were burned or buried with their owners. The second system is the syllabic systems. Each written symbol in a syllabic writing system corresponds to a syllable of the spoken language. However, pure syllabic systems are uncommon. The majority of them make use of hexadiacritics or marks to express phonetic information such as vowel length and voicing or doubling of consonants. These characters represent the sounds of these vowels. In the Japanese language, hiragana is used to write native Japanese words and be combined with other hiragana characters to form complete words and sentences. Hiragana is a type of writing in Japanese that uses characters to represent sounds. People use hiragana to make things like children's books, textbooks, cartoons, video games, and comics easier to read, especially for kids or learners. It's like using simpler words in English books for beginners to understand better. This Japanese word is pronounced konnichiwa. It means good afternoon or hello. So, this one represents the syllable ko, while this one represents the nasal sound n, and this hiragana character represents the ni, while this one represents the syllable chi, and this one stands for the syllable ha. So each character in this word represents a syllable or sound demonstrating how a syllabic writing system works. Katakana syllabary usage is quite similar to italics in English. Specifically, it is used for transcription of foreign language words into Japanese and the writing of loan words. For emphasis, to represent onomatopoeia and to write technical and scientific terms and the names of plants, animals, and minerals. Katakana words with foreign origin examples. The first one is hotaru. Hotaru means hotel. The second one is makudonarudu, which means McDonald's. Katakana words that sounds very different from the original foreign words. The first one is meiku, which sounds like make, but actually it is makeup. The second one is sign, which sounds sign, but it is signature. Katakana words with short form examples. The first one is masakomi, which means mass media. The second one is sumaho, which means smartphone. Katakana words with different meaning from the original form of foreign words. Examples. The first one is mansion, which sounds like mansion, but it is actually apartment. The second one is sunaku, which means snack bar. Made in Japan foreign words alike katakana words examples. The first one is biking, which sounds like biking, but it is actually a buffet. Hiragana are used to write native Japanese words, while katakana are used to write non-Japanese words or foreign words. The third system is the consonantal writing system. Only consonants are represented by letters in certain writing systems, such as the Arabic and Hebrew scripts, whereas vowels are denoted by diacritical marks or alterations to the consonants. Sometimes, these consonantal alphabets are referred to as abjads. Abjads are named for the four letters in the Arabic consonantal alphabet that correspond to the letters A, B, J, and D. Consonantal alphabet is well suited to the representing spoken Arabic because of its root and template morphology. Arabic is written from right to left and cursively connected. Roots in Arabic are bound morphemes consisting of only consonant, which must be completed with vowels to derive a word. Example is a sentence that you are seeing right now in the screen. So, it has no vowels, but I know that you can actually read it. Arabic readers read the consonant template, associate it with a particular semantic set. For example, is writing. use the surrounding context to figure out any further meaning that might be necessary. Arabic has developed a system of diglossia in which speakers of many local low dialects share one high dialect and one writing system. A consonantal alphabet, like the logographic script of Chinese, is well suited to the challenge of spanning varying pronunciations across many local dialects. Vowels are particularly susceptible to change over time, and therefore, many dialectal differences in the pronunciation of words are vowel differences. All writing systems tend to be conservative. Once the conventions for representing a spoken language have been accepted widely throughout a speech community, it takes a lot of effort to change even the spelling of a particular word. The Arabic script, with its strong connection to the Quran, a sacred text, has changed very little over the centuries, while the spoken dialects have developed dramatically and diversified to meet the changing needs of their speakers. Third writing system is the alphabetic writing system. It represents the phonological structure of the language. The smallest pronounceable segment of speech is syllable, but a syllable may be analyzed into distinctive underlying constituents called phonemes. Is the writing system of the Korean language. Hangul is made up of 14 consonants and 10 vowels, making it an alphabet with a total of 24 letters. It combines the strengths of an alphabet and a syllabary, so when writing words in Hangul, letters are grouped by syllables into blocks.
So this is the tutorial on how to write a Korean words.
And the pronunciation rules that will help you speak like a native. By the end of this series, you will be able to understand the language on a whole new level and have completed an important milestone in mastering Korean. Hana means step by step in Korean. We will start with some. There are only 20. There are only 24. We use these 24 characters in different combinations to form syllables. Each block of characters equals one syllable. Here's an important rule you need to know about these blocks. Each block needs at least one consonant and one vowel. You will see what we mean when we start to look at some characters. In Hangul, there are 10 vowels and 14 consonants. Today, you will learn 2 of the vowels and 1 consonant. Are you ready? Your first vowel, as you say this simple sound, it might surprise you to know that you're... Nope. Remember the rule we mentioned earlier? Every block needs at least 1 consonant and 1 vowel. But in this case of E, there is no consonant, so instead we put a placeholder. The circle called an ion acts as a placeholder for the consonant. So whenever you have a vowel on its own, this placeholder comes before it. Draw the E vowel to the right of the placeholder. So when you want to write the word E or the syllable E in the middle of another word, this is how you would write it. Pretty easy so far, right? Now if you take the last character and add a short stroke to the right side, it becomes your second vowel, A. Ah. As you practice the pronunciation, try to associate the sound with the character. Writing it while saying it really helps. Pop quiz. With what you know so far, try to figure out how to write this Korean word.